And this is the problem. Supermarkets selling off milk at below cost price and killing off the home delivery market. They call it a loss leader. They know they'll lose on every pint that they sell in the supermarket, but they hope that once inside you'll buy other things and they'll make up the money that way. It's good business for them, but it's bad news for the milkman. A pint of milk will cost you about 26p in a supermarket. Delivered to your door, you would only get half to two-thirds of a pint for the same money. Over a year, a family could save £50 or more by cancelling the milkman.
I've got to think of my pension. I only have a limited amount, so I've got to get the cheapest I can find.
Isn't it convenient, though, to have it there on your doorstep every morning?
It is, but I mean, I have to come up for bread and stuff like that, so I might as well just pick the milk up at the same time.
You can buy 4 pints for 80 odd pence, and it's about 37, I think, if you get it delivered. I don't think it's worth it.
There was a time when a milk round on a major housing estate like Newton Hall could change hands for over £100,000. Those days are long gone, and Hep says he feels concerned for the younger milkmen who've gone into debt to finance a business that's in danger of dying under them.
People have lost about 25% of their profit, you know, as the milk comes down, because people are going to shops and buying it. I wouldn't, I've enjoyed it over the years. It's been really a healthy job, and, you keep fit and, being your own boss, which is a nice thing, you know what you've got to do, you get up and you go and do it, and then you can go home and relax. But as far as, I recommend it to someone else coming in, times would have to really change, someone would have to do something about the supermarkets.
The Co-op is a major milk producer in the northeast, delivering bottled milk to doorsteps from Berwick to the South Midlands. They also sell milk in their shops, so they have a foot in both camps. But Chief Executive Trevor Hughes says it's too soon to write the obituary of the milkman.
I think the doorstep delivery has come under continual and growing pressure over the last 10 years. And I think we are reaching the stage now where, as I said before, we've got to perhaps change the way we do things, look radically at the way we run our business. But we've also got to realise that what we're offering the consumer is unique, not only in this country, but probably in the world. We're offering them a delivery almost every day on the doorstep, early in the morning, not only of milk, but of a wider range of products.
I found some this morning. Our milkman had left it there. He hadn't forgotten it. No, he left it there on purpose. That's his job. He's brilliant. He wears a bobble hat and gets up dead early, just so you could have milk in your tea. Or coffee. Brilliant.
The Co-op is part of a consortium that's decided to tackle the problem of declining doorstep sales head-on, with a television advertising campaign beginning this month.
Ain't milk brilliant?
We're not sitting there and saying, we've been on the doorstep 60 years and yahoo, you've got to buy from us. We're looking at the market, we're reacting to the competition. The competition's pretty tough, but, if we're going to have a future, we've got to be tough, we've got to be determined, and we've got to be committed, and we've got to be prepared to change.
Later stages of the campaign will aim to remind the buying public of the milkman's role as a trusted figure in the community, keeping a friendly eye on our early morning streets.
As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, when I was going up the street, the fourth house up, the old lady was hanging the clothes out in the garden, and when I came back down, she was lying in the garden, she'd passed out. So I just nipped in and picked her up and helped her into the house. And she said she didn't want the doctor, but I was a bit concerned. And when I went further down the road, I went into another bungalow, pulled the emergency cord. I called the warden out and asked her to get the doctor as well. And later in the day, I called around to see the old lady, and she was quite okay, And she was very pleased for what I did for her, And luckily, the milkman up there early in the morning, she'd probably been there for an hour or two.
Hep Tyndall will continue working his round until he retires. He has a son, but he's unlikely to follow in his father's footsteps.
Some of the old people in the bungalows, they just can't get out to go and get their milk, and they're the ones that's going to be suffering. It's the younger ones with the cars that go to these big supermarkets and buy the 4-pinters and the 6-pinters. It's unfair trading.
The traditional British milkman is heading for an uncertain future. If the advertising whiz kids fail to rekindle public allegiance, he could slip quietly into the history books by the end of the century.
Well, there can't be anything much more heartbreaking for a couple than longing for a family yet not being able to have children. which is why test tube baby clinics like the one at Washington Hospital have made such an impact in their field. Since they opened for business back in 1990, more than 1,200 couples have been treated at the Washington Cromwell unit. Through in vitro fertilization, plus the use of frozen embryos and the donation of sperm and eggs, 239 babies have been safely born so far as a result of treatment carried out at the unit. And today the centre celebrated its 5th birthday with a party in the grounds of Washington Hospital. More than 100 youngsters and their parents were there this afternoon, youngsters that simply wouldn't be around but for the IVF and fertility programme. The celebrations coincided with the hospital's annual garden fete and, of course, with Father's Day. Well, it may be Father's Day, but Father John couldn't be with us this afternoon because he's got a tummy bug. But nevertheless, we do have Jamie and Mum Carolyn Leach. Carolyn, how much did you have to go through before you were finally pregnant?
10 years of infertility treatment, resulting in 3 ectopic pregnancies, and then the success of having Jamie.
How did that affect family life with yourself and John?
Very, very stressful. It became the be-all and end-all of everything and every...
Well, it dominated everyday conversation.
Exactly, yes, and everything we ever did. We sacrificed holidays and so forth to try and raise the funds for the IVF treatment. But once she's come along, that's all forgotten, and it's been all worthwhile.
It's wonderful first decorations there. You've been there for the party today.
Yeah.
Well, Eric Simons, you've 1,200 people have checked in for help, 350 pregnancies and 239 babies.
Right.
Do you think the people are over-optimistic when they come to see you?
Well, it's entirely appropriate. People must plan for success, but we have to allow for failure in that that's the way nature has designed us, I'm afraid. That out of 100 embryos, 25 are likely to carry on, and 75, whether it's generated in IVF or it's not generated, or generated quite naturally. The vast majority of human embryos do not progress much beyond 5 or 6 days of age.
How do you handle those who are so disappointed?
Oh, we're very aware of the fact that they are the stars in many ways, because they have to keep resolute, they have to keep trying, because in many cases they've got no practical alternative. But we have support nurses and counsellors there to help them to try and cope with what is often unpalatable.
Now, of course, this is a private service. It is not open to NHS people. What are you doing to try and change that, to make it more available?
We're very conscious of this, and the Cromwell administrators, no less so, are very sensitive to the fact that there's no practical alternative. It's a real world we live in. 92% is done in private practice, but we have various schemes, and we hope in the new year to announce something very specific to help folk who at the present moment must rely totally on NHS, yes, can't get a service from us.
So it may not be exclusive to those who have the cash in the future?
Indeed.
Well, let's go back to Mum here. What difference has she made to your life?
A tremendous amount of difference. She's just brought the happiness that we wanted.
But she's a little cracker, isn't she? I mean, she's very shy. Are you going to speak to me, Jamie?
Are you going to look that way and talk?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Say hello.
You've been all done up as a tiger today at that great big party. So if you want to speak, would you give me a nice big roar, a big growl? Go on. Big one. I'm frightened. Well, we take a short break now. In part 2, the Northumberland village that's throwing itself open to the public, and the winner of our Entertainer of the Year contest. See you very shortly.